Okay guys, so today we're going to be making some arepas and we're going to be using this brand of cornmeal in order to make our arepas. So let's get started. Okay, so in order to make our arepas, we need to prepare the dough. To do that, we need 2 cups of this cornmeal flour. This is pre-cooked white cornmeal. So we have 1 cup, and we have 2 cups, okay? Now to this, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using sea salt, okay? I'm just gonna combine this a little. I'm just trying to combine the salt in with the flour. Okay, so now we're going to add in the water. So according to the package instructions, we have to add in 2.5 cups of water to the 2 cups of cornmeal. So I'm just going to start mixing in the water a little bit. So that was 2 cups of water that I just added there. And I have to add in another 1/2 cup according to the package instructions. All right, just want to squeeze the dough through your hands to make sure that all the flour is incorporated. Now the thing is, because it's very humid here right now, I know that they said, according to the package instructions, you put 2.5 cups of water. But I'm feeling it now, and because of the humidity, this feels good with that 2 cups of water that I added. It doesn't feel like I need to add a 1/2 cup of water. But I will add a little bit more, maybe a 1/4 cup. And we will just leave it to rest for about 5 minutes or so. All right, so I'm going to add a little more. Or maybe I should just add a full 1/2 cup, as they mentioned. Maybe it will just absorb as I leave it to rest. I will go ahead and add a full amount. It feels extremely moist. I mean, I felt like I didn't have to add a full amount, but I just wanted to do exactly what the instruction says. Let's just do that, at least for the first time around. You can always, modify. So like, for example, personally, this feels very moist to me, even though the packet said 2.5 cups. I would have put 2.25 cups of water. But I just want to show you the package instructions. And like I said, when you're doing it for yourself, you can always adjust. All right, so we're going to leave this here to rest for a few minutes to help that water to absorb into the cornmeal. So let me just cover this and we'll be back. Okay, so we have allowed our cornmeal dough to rest for about 5 minutes or so. And now what we're going to do is we're going to form it into a disc. Okay, now according to the instructions here, we're going to form some small balls, and then we're going to flatten it with our hands into a thin disc. It says about 10 centimeters or 3.5 inches in diameter. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to form. Okay, so we're going to form some small balls. So I'm going to take out about this amount here, and I'm going to roll it. Let me just push this to the side because I want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to roll it like this and just use my hand and flatten it out. And what I'll do, I'll take my index finger and sort of shape the sides like this. All right? So this is what we're going to do. See that? I'm just sort of tapping it with my index finger to kind of get the shape that I want. Okay? The disc shape. All right, so we have this one here done. We'll just rest it on the plate like that. All right, so I'm just going to get to taking out the rest and forming into balls and then forming it into disc, and then we move over to the stove in order to cook it. Okay? So at least you get the idea of how to form your arepas. All right, so I think you got the idea of what I'm doing. So I will get to shaping and forming out the rest of these arepas. Hi guys, so I just wanted to mention that if you leave your dough for an extended period of time, more than 5 minutes, all that extra moisture will be absorbed and the dough will not be as wet and sticky. That's exactly what had happened to me. I left my dough for a while, and when I came back to it, it was not as sticky. Most of the water had been absorbed into the dough itself, and so it was more firm, and therefore it was easier for me to form the disc. So I just thought I would mention that to you. If that is possible, if it is that you need to do it right away, then just put less water. But if you have time, you can, mix the dough and leave it to rest for an extended period of time, and then come to form it into the disc, and you would find that it will form nicely and it will be nice and firm. So I just thought I would mention that to you guys. Okay guys, I wanted to show you what I meant when I said if you leave the dough to rest, how it becomes easier for you to form it into your round shapes. Okay, so here I did this and I left it to rest for about 2 hours. Okay, so now thing is I could have left it even longer, but I mean if you leave it longer, it's the more firmer this dough will become. But anyway, we're going to work with it. Now, as you can see, it is not as sticky as if I had just left it for the 5 minutes and started to work with it. Now, not that you can't work with it within the 5 minutes. I mean, that's what I did. You all saw that. But the longer you leave it, is the firmer the dough becomes. And I find then easier for the dough to take your particular shape. You see that? Look how easy. It's not as moist when you leave it a while, and then you can get that perfect size that you want and shape that you want. So I just thought that I would give you a visual of what I was talking about when I said when you leave it for a few hours, that the dough becomes even easier to handle and to shape. Like if I left this even longer, this dough would have become even more firmer, less sticky, and therefore easier to handle and to form into the shape that you want. That's of course if you go the method of putting the full 2.5 cups of water. Like I said, if you want it less moist, then just put less water. Okay, so now we have to cook our arepas. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of oil in our pan here. I'm using coconut oil, right? Cook in a griddle or frying pan over medium heat for 5 minutes on each side. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put my first one down. And we're going to cook this on this side for 5 minutes. All right, so let's turn over. 5 minutes have gone. I'm going to turn it over now. And we're going to cook it for another 5 minutes on this side now. Okay, so now we're going to assemble our arepa so we can put some a meat filling if you want. You can put like I said, a veggie filling, whatever filling you prefer. Okay, and then what you can do is I'm going to put a little bit of sauce on this side of it, like so. Right, and then now you can put some shredded lettuce. You can put some shredded carrots. You can put a tomato, and then we cover our arepa. And this is one way of having, can you see that? Is it going to focus? There you go. This is one way of having your, this is one way of having your arepa. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.